espresso. Part 3, guys, is happening right now. Well, hello. Ready for part 3? The last part? So ready for this to be over, aren't you? Okay. So, let's start with some humble advice to those dating or married to those with BPD.
Some unsolicited advice, huh? Definitely have a lot of patience and keep snacks and food on the ready for you.
Snacks.
Because I notice your mood increases a lot when you are fed.
Okay, that's facts. I can't even debate that. What's something that the listeners should know about BPD and how it affects those that they love, considering you are a non-BPD watching me, the BPD?
Um, it's it's definitely not always in their control, and you just have to stick with them.
So what if someone says that it's not their responsibility to be the more stable or adaptable person in the relationship?
The person with the BPD or non?
The non.
The non. I mean, then that relationship might not be for you because that is what your partner is going to require from you. Not like 100% like stable. Like, I'm not saying you have to make it like your life's mission to make sure they're completely taken care of every step of the way and handhold them. But if you're going to be a chaotic individual, well, expect you're going to exasperate their symptoms. So
I can agree with that. What do you feel is the least out of my control, symptoms and characteristic wise?
splitting. Um, yeah, splitting's definitely the main one. Like, it'll just happen. Like, every other emotion you can, to some degree, I think, like, kind of see it coming and head it off and like take out some external factors. Like, if you realize you're going to be angry, we can try to avoid stuff that's going to make that anger worse. But splitting that just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, it's very rare that I do feel a split coming. I know that when I do feel them, it's when I have been going and going and going and going. And I've had zero breaks to myself, and I'm just so stressed out and so like almost my regulation wall is super duper down. So I've honestly, if I don't roll into a split by this weekend, like that's going to be a miracle because I have been going for the last 2 weeks just straight.
Mm-hmm. I think we both have.
Yeah, we both definitely have. And on top of that, we both have some level of neurodivergency, so that just adds to the
Does not help.
It just adds to the shit pot. Like it just does. So, what are your thoughts on the stigma that surrounds BPD, like and how we're viewed or we're treated or the assumptions? Like what are your thoughts on that?
Well, if you are a serial killer, you're doing a really good job at hiding all the bodies and evidence from me. But on a serious note, I think it's just comes down to people either don't want to deal with or fear what they don't understand, and I don't think a lot of info on BPD is readily available to the public. Hopefully, this changes this. So I think it's just a combination of that why there's even a stigma to begin with.
Yeah, I agree. Um so we're gonna get a little personal, like the last, I don't know how many episodes haven't been super personal, But if you knew everything that you know now, would you have still married me?
Hell no. No, no. No, I would have. I love you. And yeah, sometimes you just get to you don't get to choose who you fall in love with, and
That's for damn sure.
you're stuck with me through the good and bad.
I'm okay with that. However, if you run your thumb over my knee one more time, I might go into like overstimulation and cry. So thank you.
Bane of my existence for listeners. She is not a touchy feely person. I am very much a touchy feely person.
Yeah. So it gets fun. Like his love language is physical touch and mine is acts of service. So I'm kind of over here like, can you hug the dishes instead of me, possibly? So it gets interesting around here for sure. But the last question of this entire series. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain.
This was kind of a make myself feel a little better, although he hasn't been too harsh on any of these episodes. But what are some good qualities about me in spite of how absolutely fucked my brain is?
Well, your humor for sure. We can definitely just super silly with each other. Like we'll just be laying in bed and we'll just talk about nonsense and just be giggling for just half hour.
We have, yeah, it's both a good thing and a bad thing. We have laughed ourselves out of the mood quite a few times.
We have actually done that, laughed ourselves out of the mood before. And then another one of your best qualities is like you just care a lot about other people's well-beings and how they're treated. Sometimes to an unhealthy degree, but you do care.
I do my bestest.
Yeah. I love you for it.
No, you're too nice to me sometimes. I definitely don't reciprocate as much as I should. So, yeah. But yeah, that wraps up your husbandly duties on this podcast.
Hey, I can always be a guest on some other stuff.
Oh, for sure. Have you had fun at least?
I have had fun, and I hope the listeners have gotten some good information out of this and
Me
laughed
too.
a little bit along the way.
I honestly think like while we've been planning these episodes, you and I actually sorted through some things, especially like with like our low points and stuff like that. Like we definitely sorted out a lot even just planning these episodes. It was actually really interesting how much stuff we were able to like put under that bridge for once doing these episodes.
It's
So
amazing. It's amazing what communication and talking to each other does.
I'm terrible at that.
Well, we both are. I'm not putting any one sector of blame on someone, but yeah, we both are. But I think a lot of problems between people can just be solved by talking and understanding each other. And sometimes we just don't do that and do knee jerk emotional responses. But hey, that's life.
C'est la vie. Well, I appreciate you coming on here and entertaining the people, the masses, for the last
Are you not
3 weeks.
entertained?
There's something. But yeah. So I really hope for you guys that this helped couples out there that are maybe together long term, have just started dating, or married. It's a new diagnosis, it's an old diagnosis. I hoped, I hope this explained something, anything, even if it not all of it made sense, but there was like 10% of the last 3 episodes that resonated. That's all I want out of this. And I'm not sure what you want out of this. I think we're just trying to
I'm just trying to
help.
help. Yeah.
But I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Next week is the finale of season 1. Holy crap. We've been doing this will be 9 weeks. Week 10 and the finale is next week. And then I'm going to take a couple of weeks off. And I mean, episode or season 2 comes back in 4 weeks and all of that. But yeah, I'm going to take a couple of weeks off and really take the feedback that I've gotten from this first season and figure out how to be bigger and better in the next season. And we already have some very, very special guests lined up for next season. And I'm very excited to bring those to you. But yeah, next week is the finale. That's
Woo.
insane. I know. Well, I thank you for being the very first guest on this shit show of a podcast, this hot mess, if you will. I'm terrible. But yeah. All right, guys. We will see you next week. And until then, stay hot, stay messy.